time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do.
Yeah, I got the juice. Big game cool, make them look like cool. Always play it cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, XL, and Huber, way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof.
You already know what happens when we when we link up. Let's go.
Yeah, I got
Good day and welcome to Kidney Hub East Africa, the home of real conversations, awareness, and hope for the kidney community. I am half your host, Stevethekidneynurse. And today, let me tell you, today we are honored to bring you another powerful and inspiring story of resilience and survival. Joining us on the show is a very special guest, Mary Wanjiku, a remarkable woman whose journey with kidney disease has been one of courage, strength, and endurance. Now check this out, fam. Mary was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease in 2007. She began dialysis in 2008, a year later. Now check this out. Mary received her first transplant just 2 years later, 2010. Now, as I remember talking to Brother Moses, he said it's hard getting a transplant in Kenya. You had to get it from a relative. You just can't get it from anybody who wanted to donate, like here in the US and other places. So I was like, wow. Just 2 years, one of her family members stepped up to the plate, or a relative, and donated. Unfortunately, in 2013, Mary experienced rejection. But check this out. She went on to receive a second transplant. Not just one, but two. In Kenya, East Africa, that's probably unheard of. I don't know. I just go by what Brother Moses tell me. But in 2014, she got a second transplant. And unfortunately, in 2018, that transplant failed. Now, this could be a lot for anyone. Mary returned to dialysis 2018 and continues to fight this battle to this day. So we are pleased to be joined by our co-host, the kidney ambassador and renal nurse specialist, Stevethekidneynurse, who will help guide this important conversation with insight, compassion, and expertise. Stay with us as we listen, learn, and draw strength from Mary's journey, a journey that speaks to the realities of kidney disease, the challenges of treatment, and the power of hope. You are watching Kidney Hub East Africa. But before we bring on our co-host and Mary, I got to give you the medical disclaimer, because we here at Kidney Hub East Africa, the information provided here is for educational and informational purposes only, and not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, and treatment. So with that out the way, let me bring on our co-host all the way, I guess Moses from Kisumu, Kenya, and I believe Tabitha's from Nairobi. But let's bring our two co-hosts on. Brother Moses, Tabitha, how are both of y'all doing?
Very fine, thank you.
Great. How about you, Brother Moses? How you doing today?
You're mute.
You're mute. We can't hear you.
Yeah, everybody here is fine, and I'm glad we are back again live at Kidney Hub East Africa.
Absolutely, brother. It's good to hear your voice. Welcome. So let's bring on our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Kidney Hub East Africa, Mary Wanjiku. Let's give her the VIP welcome. Mary, welcome to Kidney Hub East Africa. How are you doing today? Uh-oh, she's muted. You're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry for that.
There
Hi.
you go. Mary, welcome to Kidney Hub East Africa. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, Steve. I'm doing well. I'm good. I thank God for His grace.
Great, great. It's good to see you. Welcome.
Thank
Now,
you.
absolutely. Now, Mary,
Mhm.
let me start off by asking you received 2 transplants within pretty much a 5-year span. Before I ask you my questions, I just wanted to know who donated to you your first and second transplant.
Okay. My first kidney was donated by maternal aunt. That was in the year 2010. And the second one was donated by my mother in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You definitely have some great support. Thank you for sharing that. So, Mary, let me start off by asking you, can you take us back to 2007 when you was first diagnosed with chronic kidney disease? What
Mhm.
signs or symptoms made you seek medical help?
Okay. What I can say back in the day now, the year was in 2007. I was still in college. I didn't have so many signs, but what made me to go to the hospital was the fact that I used to get endless headaches. I know when I went to the hospital, I was told that I'm hypertensive. Then it took a few months, and I started swelling up on my legs. So the main reason that made me to go to the hospital was the swell up on my legs. And that's not when I was diagnosed with CKD.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mary, how did you feel when you first heard the diagnosis?
Mm.
How did you feel when they told you you had kidney disease or kidney
To be
failure?
honest, I was devastated, and I went into denial for quite some time. When I was admitted and I was told that I needed to start dialysis, I was in denial. In the first place, I didn't even know what dialysis was. But I remember I went into denial instantly. Yeah.
You went into denial.
Yeah.
Hmm. Did you, hey Marsha, um, did you know anything about dialysis before being diagnosed? Have you ever heard of kidney disease?
Yeah. To be honest, I'd heard about it. I had a friend who was going through dialysis, but I never took time to understand what dialysis was. No, back in the day, even through my friend. But since I'd seen the changes he had gone through with his body, that itself was scary. And honestly speaking, I didn't even think of like finding out what the condition was already I could tell through the changes my friend had gone through.
Wow. So Mary, what was the transition to dialysis like when you started in 2008?
Well,
How did you adjust to life uh, on dialysis emotionally and physically?
well, it took time first to get to accept that no, this is what had happened. And now it comes with a lot of changes, diet, the body itself. I can say it wasn't easy. And then again, also back in the day, dialysis was very hectic here in Kenya. We didn't have enough machines. So I could show up one morning, you staying the whole day, 2 days without dialysis, you are sickly. But now with time, what before I could accept it, I thought I was going to get well, after some time. But with time, I realized this thing is here. And now I didn't have a choice. I had to accept it and face it heads on.
Wow. Wow. And you pretty much segue into my next question by you saying back in the day. Because my next follow-up question was, what were the biggest challenges in those early days? And you said one, there wasn't enough machines. And what else were some of those biggest challenges in those early days of receiving dialysis compared to now in 2026?
The biggest challenge back in the day was getting the service itself, not the dialysis, and also the financial aspect, because at that time there was no like insurance that was taking care of it. We had to pay out of pocket. It was quite draining. Yeah, we could go for even a week without dialysis. Tabitha knows about it because I found her in Kenyatta back in the day. So you can imagine you are sick, you've gone for the services, they are not readily available, your body is getting exhausted day by day. It was quite tough.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. Let me ask you this. How did your first transplant in 2010 change your life?
Well, the first transplant changed my life in a very, very big way because immediately my life went like my life bounced back to normal. I could work, I could do things for myself. I didn't have to depend on family to do things for me. And life went back to normal. It was a whole reset. It's like a 360.
Now,
Yeah.
how did that moment? Well, what did that moment mean for your family as well? You getting a transplant.
It meant everything for us, for everybody in the family. It was some moment of jubilation because everyone had seen the struggles I'd gone through. And you see now it became a point like I was I don't want to use the word burden, but I became a burden to everyone. But now when I got the transplant, life went back to normal. They could see the changes and all was good. Perfect.
So let me ask you this. How was the recovery after the transplant?
Well, the recovery was very smooth. My surgery went on very okay. Everything happened it was seamless. Everything was okay. The recovery period was very short and I was again back up and down doing my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let me see. I just want to take a pause for a second and acknowledge a guest that's watching, Dad Vice TV, who is an amazing advocate of kidney disease awareness here in the United States. And he's known abroad, all over. If you haven't heard of him, follow him and become a part of that 200. What is it, Dad Vice? James, 270,000 YouTube followers now. But he's also a kidney warrior and he does amazing work. He says, "You were not a burden. Those that loves you were happy to step up and help." So that was his comment to you, Mary. And like I said, this is Dad Vice TV. Big guy on YouTube. So thank you for watching, Dad Vice. We have P Teach. Thank you for joining. Mary, I want to ask my last and final question, and then Brother Moses is going to step in and have some questions for you. But my final question to you is, when your first transplant failed in 2013, how did you cope with that setback?
Well, what I can say, I think it was the hardest. It's one of the hardest things I have to go through in life. Because, initially when I got sick, you get sick, then you have hope of recovering, maybe in a few days, in a month or two. But not this time. I know exactly where I'm going and what is happening. It's like there's a hole ahead of you, and you know how deep that hole is. And once you get in it, coming out, it's quite hard. To be honest, I can tell you that I even went on denial, and I couldn't comprehend going back on dialysis. So I took a step back, and I was home for a while. Though I had communicated with my doctor, and he was really pushing me back on going to dialysis, but I wasn't ready for it till I was talked to into it. My friends, family, my doctor, they really intervened. Till now, I accepted going back on dialysis. It wasn't easy. I think that is one of the hardest moments of my life up to date. It wasn't easy because I knew exactly where I was going, what was waiting for me, and what was going to happen. And at that point, I didn't even know if I had hope for another transplant. What I was just thinking maybe of something like death. And yeah, that's all I can say.
Wow, that's powerful. So tell me, Mary, what was going through your mind at that time?
Well, what was going on in my mind was like, I really don't think I need to go back to those machines. I had my fair share of this bitter life, and I thought that was the end of me. Yeah.
Okay. So what support system helped you get through that period?
What helped me was my family, my friends, people that talked into me, and they still gave me hope like, we can still do this. We did it the first time. You can do it. Just go for it. Don't give up. We're here to support you. And somehow I softened and decided, let me give it another chance. Maybe God is not yet done with me. And for sure, He wasn't done with me. Then I got in and I embraced dialysis. Now I can say for second time.
Okay. Um, before I turn it over to Brother Moses, um, Dad Vice TV had a question. He asked you, Mary, he says, Mary, did you have children that depended on you at that time?
No, I didn't have children. I got sick at a very tender age of 21. So I was still in college. So I didn't have children. And I still have don't children till now. As all along, I've been sickly, and yeah.
Okay, Brother Moses, take it away.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wanjiku.
Welcome.
We don't take this for granted. For you having made it to our show today for the first time, but always feel free. Secondly, I also saw fit into your shoes, and I know what you are going through. Just allow me to get in with few questions. First, you received a second transplant in 2014.
Yes.
What was the difference? What was the different from the second time round?
Okay. The difference between the first and the second transplant. For the second transplant, I had to travel to India because I had a lot of antibodies and I needed to do the plasma exchange, which was not locally available back in the day. So the doctors saw it fit that I get the surgery out of the country. I would say that is the only difference that I can really say. Otherwise, and of course, I can say India, they are a bit advanced technologically than us. So they could, you see now the processes I went through. But basically, apart from the plasma and all that, because now my case was a bit different, which could not be handled here, nothing much.
Brother Moses, can I
Yes.
just step in for a moment? I just want to.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me ask Nurse Tabitha, renal nurse specialist Tabitha Matikwa. Tabitha, how common is it for kidney patients in Kenya to travel outside the country for a transplant? And who pays for that? The transplant surgery, the airfare, is that covered under any type of insurance? Can you elaborate on that?
For the complicated cases, the doctor recommends them to seek transplant elsewhere. But if they have to go, our hospital, the National Hospital Insurance, if the doctor has recommended, I think there is part of the money it can reimburse during the treatment. But for the fare, the preparation, the family has to cater for that. So it's on the side of the patient to do that.
Got you. Thank you for specifying that. Okay, Brother Moses, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Mary, were you more hopeful this time around, or cautious, or prepared in any way?
You're asking during my second transplant?
Yes.
Yes, I was very hopeful.
Yes.
As the doctor had talked to me, and I believe he referred me to the best facility. And also, there were people that I knew who had done their second transplant, and they were doing okay. So at no any point did I feel like I was doing, like I took the wrong choice. I was very hopeful and was looking forward to it.
Awesome. How did you experience the first transplant? How did your first transplant shape your expectation?
Well, my first transplant gave me hope, and it made me know at some point I'd lost hope in life when I initially got sick. But now after the surgery, everything bounced back to life. And now I felt, no, those things that I had not accomplished, I could do them. I had the strength. I didn't need to depend on people. Yeah. So it was a game changer.
Absolutely. Thank you. And then let me add on this. What were the early signs that the second graft was failing before it finally failed in 2018?
Actually, what happened, the reason that caused my graft to fail, I happened to get sick for quite some few months. My weight was dropping and I really didn't know what was happening. Only for me to find later, I traveled to India, and that's where they picked that I had miliary TB, and already the damage was irreversible. It had affected the graft. They tried their best they could, though they said it was too late. By the time I got there, the damages were irreversible, and that is what affected my second graft. Otherwise, I was very much okay. I didn't have any problems with my graft for the 3 years, apart from now when I got the TB, but it took long to be diagnosed.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Was there a moment when you realized things were not going well?
Yes, I did. I happened to get, I was admitted at KNH for around 2 months. but my situation didn't seem to get any better because my kidney function was going down and down. And then the TB, they had tried to do the CT scan, everything. They couldn't pick that I had TB. So that's the time I decided to go to India. At that point, I didn't understand what was happening to my body. Too much weight loss, getting weak and all that. But now when I got there, that's when I realized the graft is going. And when they said that the damage was irreversible, there's nothing I could do. I made peace with it. And they told me to just wait on the time when it will fail. They couldn't tell when. And true to their word, after 4 months, the graft was gone.
Oh my goodness. How did your care team communicate with you during the period of transplant, the second transplant?
During the transplant period,
Yes.
no, all was fine. I believe everyone played their role the way they could have done best. Because apart from that time when I started getting sick, when I got the TB, I used to go from those regular checks, the ones that we normally do, because I was doing it after every 3 months. The graft was already 3 years into it, but it was fine. The care was okay. I cannot complain about the care. Everything was fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. And what was the hardest about going back on dialysis after 2 transplant?
Mm, I think when the second graft failed, I had time. I was prepared psychologically because, as I've told you, I was in India when I had the TB. I was told the graft was already affected. So I think psychologically I was okay. I was prepared. And when it came, I decided, you know what? This is it. I don't have a choice. If I have to leave, I have to go back on that dialysis and maybe figure out what to do when in it. So it wasn't a shocker like the first one. The first one, I wasn't prepared. It just happened. But the second one, I was well prepared, like I would say 7 months before the graft failed.
Wow.
Wow.
Brother Moses, let me interject right quick. I want to answer this question. Well, I want to have this question answered for Marsha Phyllis Parker. Welcome, Marsha. She has an organization. And Marsha, put that in the comments, your organization and what you do so I can display it. Mary, Marsha wanted to know, how long did you have to wait for your second transplant? I know we shared in the beginning, she just got here, but how long did you have to wait for your second transplant?
It took 1 year, just a year.
1 year.
Yes.
Yes. And Marsha, over in Kenya, and I'm not sure if it's across all East Africa, but you had to get transplanted by a relative. It can't just be anybody and everybody from the community. It has to be from a family member. So, okay, Brother Moses, continue. I'm sorry.
No worries. Mary,
Yes.
I'm also a kidney warrior. I've been living on dialysis for close to 10 years. Come August, it will be 10 years. Yeah, so we travel the same journey, and our destiny are shared. Allow me to add one more questions, one or two.
Okay.
What was the hardest about going back on dialysis after transplant?
Well, the hardest part of going back on dialysis is that you know exactly where you are going. you know exactly, like there is a hole here. We are many people. You've been in that hole before, so you know how deep it is. Unlike others who don't understand, that is the hardest part to get on it. And also considering that dialysis, it's not an easy thing. And you know very well, dialysis, there are two ways out of it. Either you get a transplant. For you to get out of dialysis is two ways. And this once you have chronic CKD and after all those years, it's either you get a transplant or you exit this world or you choose to stay on dialysis, which is never guaranteed. It comes with so many issues, so many setbacks. Today you're okay, tomorrow you're not okay. So that one makes you to think, like, it throws you like in some form of maybe depression and also, what is it called? Denial. Because for true denial sets in immediately, you know, because you know where you are going back to. You've walked that journey before. It's not an easy one. And now you have to go and rewalk it. Because it's like walking somewhere. You've gone through a bush, or maybe you have to cross a river. Then you were told you have to go back. So you remember all the struggles you went through and know what to expect. It's not easy. And unlike, okay, personally, I came to accept it. But you know, there are some people who go on denial and they need a lot of counseling. Some work, some doesn't work. Yeah. So it is never easy.
Wow.
Wow. And then I know how difficult it is, given that our destiny is shared. How did you find the strength to continue
Well, the
with
moment I
dialysis?
realized, the moment I realized that no one can fight this battle for me, I wasn't given a choice. The only choice that I have, or I had and I have till now, is to wake up and fight every other day for me to be alive. And the fact that every morning I wake up, I breathe, I realize that God is not yet done with me. And it gives me hope because I know I can still go for that transplant, they get the funds and all that. So, and also when I look at my family, they have so much faith in me, they believe in me. And also among my friends, they say that I give them hope in life. So that itself is a sign that, you know, just wake up, show up, and you leave the rest to God.
Wow, that's absolutely so inspiring story, Mary. Thank you so much for being a source of inspiration and having the courage to move forward. Back to you, Brother Steve. I'm done.
Okay. Now we're going to have us Reno nurse specialist Tabitha. She wanted to ask you some questions, Miss Mary. But before Tabitha gets started, I just wanted to share some information. Take a quick pause to share this information from my good friend Marsha Parker, who is a kidney warrior, transplant recipient here in the United States. And she has created a foundation called Marsha Saving Grace Kidney Foundation. And what she does is educate dialysis patients on dialysis, caregivers, post-transplant, and help eligible patients through process of getting on the waiting list for transplant. And that's here in the US. And I wish, you know, she could spread that across the world to help, you know, kidney warriors in East Africa and other places, but this is what she does, and she's went through that whole process as well, and she's giving back by sharing her experience of kidney disease, her kidney journey, and helping the community as well. So thanks, Marsha. Back to you, Sister Tabitha. I know you have some questions that you wanted to ask Miss Mary. Y'all know each other, so please feel free to proceed.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brother Steve and Brother Moses, and even our guest, Mary. Maybe I've known her for long, since I've also been in the Kenyatta National Hospital, where at times she's also come to seek for medical help and even for transplant follow-up care. So I really know her at a personal level. There is something that she has kept referring to about denial before starting dialysis. When the kidney failed, she had to go through the denial. These are common occurrence that happen to many patients. And there's a lady who is called Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who talked about the stages of grief, where, like, for example, if you lose a person, someone goes through the grief. It's just the same stages that someone goes through after losing a loved one. When a kidney fail, we say that as a patient also go through almost a similar grief, where there is denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and anxiety. And denial is when you refuse to accept the truth. And we say that sometimes denial helps you to absorb the shock of the diagnosis, but now it becomes bad when you kind of refuse to now to be assisted after you've gone through the denial. But if it helps you to absorb the shock, and from there you take a step towards seeking help, it is okay. Then we have anger. Anger, this is where someone is angry because maybe they had some unfinished business. They're angry at God, at themselves, and even other people. And we say, even for our kidney patient, it's good to be very careful when we are angry, so that we don't push our loved one very far to a point where they cannot even assist us. In bargaining, some people bargain with God, if only God would really heal them so that they can continue with life. Depression is being in low mood, where maybe you are not, you had started dialysis, but now you don't want to go for that dialysis. You are in low mood. You don't want to eat. You don't want to continue with life. You don't want to go back to work because you are so much depressed. But we say in depression, you can seek for help. You can seek for a counselor. You can speak to your healthcare team to be assisted. And again, acceptance. Acceptance does not come easy. Sometimes the patient is in denial, is angry, and to another point, the patient accepts. And I just wanted to refer to even our patient to understand such stages exist. And when you find yourself in such, you need help, you need to be assisted even to cope, to get back to dialysis. So thank you, Wanjiku, for sharing such, because it's a common occurrence that happened to many patients. And
Wow.
I would like to ask Wanjiku, looking back on your journey from 2007 up to date, maybe you can tell us what has been your hardest chapter for you. You can share with us your hardest chapter.
Okay, what I can say, my hardest, not hardest, my hardest moment in life during the last now 19 years. Sometimes when I look at my peers, my age mates, they have really progressed in life, and I feel like my life has stagnated. And that one makes you sometimes to question God, also question yourself. You feel sometimes I feel like, what did I do to deserve all this? Because there are those projections in life. I would have wanted to be here by this time. I would have wanted to achieve this. It hasn't happened. I don't know whether it will happen. And it makes you feel somehow bad. Also, something I can say a bit personal on me. I know, you see, most of my people, they have started families. You see, you are just there, you don't know what will happen. Though I've somehow made peace with it. But of course, I'm a human being. At some point, I'll sit down, start thinking, reflecting, and feeling, like sometimes you feel like you're a failure, you have not achieved this and this. You're not even sure whether you will one day achieve it. But yeah, those are the hard moments which I go through, and it makes me to like think, in those deep thoughts. But some of them are beyond me. As much as I would want to fix everything, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. I feel you. And you say that we accept maybe what we cannot change, and we adjust maybe where we can. But I know it can really be challenging. Kidney issues can be very, very challenging. Maybe to ask another question to you, Wanjiku, what
Mhm.
moment tested your belief and faith? What are the moments you felt like you've been tested?
Well, I think I cannot pick on exact moments, but there are those times. You see, this journey, it's very weird and funny. Today you are okay, tomorrow you are mood sink, they're down. But when I can say I really felt tested was during my second transplant, because after 10 days my graft rejected. Hey, that was the hardest moment. Where at that time, actually I'd not been discharged. I was still in the ICU, and one night I didn't pass urine, and I knew exactly what that was. And that time, that one I felt tested. That one I was tested in the most biggest way. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. I think I know it
Tabitha,
can really. Mhm.
I apologize for interrupting. Can I just ask a quick follow-up question to Mary? You said your transplant rejected within 10 days. Now, how did your donor feel about that? Well, let me rephrase that. Did you have any guilt because that happened, because you had from a family member and it only lasted 10 days? Did you have any guilt about that?
No, actually, what happened on the 10th day of the transplant, that's when it rejected. But I thank God the doctors really worked around the clock, around the minute to save it. They did what they could. I was put on extra plasma exchanges. I was injected those rituximab. They retried, and they managed to save the kidney. It slept for like around 48 hours. Then after all that intervention, it started working. And it's the one that
Okay.
now served me another 3.5 years. But
Okay.
the moment when you feel rejection, it feels bad because you feel like you wasted someone's organ. You can imagine 10 days, it's gone. That person has not even healed. Because even breaking those news to my mother, it wasn't easy. The doctors had to call her. Even herself, she had not recovered. It was one of those hardest moments, but I thank God we were able to overcome. The doctors did their best. The kidney picked. It never had any issues till I got the TB.
Okay.
Wow.
Back to you, Tabitha. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I'm sure it was such a moment of anxiety, kind of it gave you a point of no rest, but thank God to the specialized healthcare team who are by your side to assist you and even help the kidney that had rejected to get revived, which was such a great job. Maybe to ask you, Mary, what is the worst you have ever done, thinking it's a solution, but later you realized it's not working? As a kidney patient, what is the worst you have ever done?
The worst I've ever done. I don't think
Yes.
I've ever done anything besides treatment. Have I done anything? Well, maybe the moment I could. I was lucky enough when I started dialysis. Let me call them mentors, the people that I found who had experienced dialysis for many years before me. There is one guy, may his soul rest in peace, the late Gevenchi. He called and talked to me and said, don't go seeking help, because you will not get what you want. You can only get it here, and the only solution is getting a transplant. So I've never gone to take those mitishamba stuff or go for prayers. It's not that I don't believe in prayers, but I believe for my kidney to work, I need a transplant. So I don't think I've ever found myself doing those crazy things. I haven't.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Wanjiku. The reason I'm saying this is because I know I've encountered patients who have done crazy things. They've gone to the churches, they've been prayed for, they've been told, remove this catheter, you are okay, stop going for dialysis, then only to present to the hospital in pulmonary edema. Others have gone to the herbalists, and where the herbalists usually mix some concoction, then they are told your kidney is okay, and then later you realize the kidney has not revived. So there are those people who have engaged themselves. And since it's an educational thing, thank you so much, Wanjiku. You learned from mentors like Givenji, may he rest in peace, who was our kidney warrior for a very, very long time. And he really helped our patient to adjust to this, which is very good. And that is why we're also doing this, so that other patients can learn something. So, Wanjiku, tell us, what has kept you going?
What has kept me going? It's the fact that there is hope for tomorrow. And I live by a line in the Lord's Prayer. You see, the Lord's Prayer tells us, when you're praying, we say, give us this day our daily bread. This day. Most people, they are never content with that day's, how do I call it? With the day's need. They want more and more and more. But this disease has conditioned me to appreciate every day. So when I wake up every day, that is enough to keep me going and looking forward to tomorrow. Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you. I just love that, where you trust God even for just a day, and that is a miracle. What role have your family played along this journey? Yeah.
My family has played a very, very big role. In fact, they are like my backbone. They are the ones that keep me pushing. They hold me in all aspects. They don't judge me. And also the fact that they have seen me from day one being sick, they know what I go through. So they understand me. They understand when I don't need to be disturbed by anybody, when I need my peace. They know it. I don't need to tell anybody. But they have been there for me. They hold me in prayers, day-to-day life, in every aspect. They are there for me.
Thank you so much for highlighting the role of the family, because for a patient continue with dialysis. They need drugs, they need transport to go from dialysis and back at home. They have very huge prescription, and they need to take those medication as prescribed by the doctor. They need members who will understand them and support them as they are. Therefore, a family really helps a patient to adjust to the dialysis, or even as a kidney patient, they need that support from you. Maybe I would ask Wanjiku, tell us, what is the role of friends in the kidney disease?
But the role of friends is to support you, understand you, because if you don't have let's say like a supportive system of friends that understand what you go through, those friendship don't work. Sometimes people become a burden to their friends, which is understandable, but those who stay, they really support us. And because they understand, personally, my friends, they know if I don't show up anywhere, they understand what I'm going through. I might look okay, the outward look, but inside I'm not fine. But I thank God for my friends that have been very, very supportive. You know, even if it's that someone who shows up, even if they would say much, they are just there surrounding you. That is enough. Kidney patient or people with chronic illnesses, they really need that support. They need people that can support them, because sometimes these diseases, they can make you alienate yourself from people. You just want to be alone. But when friends come through, they give you that support, a listening ear. You know, there are some things you need to talk to a friend you cannot like share with the family. You know, that's when they step in.
Wow,
Um,
are you a okay?
Wait a minute, Nurse
Go
Tabitha,
ahead.
let me interject right quick. I want to share this comment and give a shout out to my friend Stu. She's from Kenya as well. And it's been a long time, my friend. I haven't seen you, but welcome. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. And she's a kidney warrior as well over in Kenya. She says only fellow kidney patients truly understand how heavy this journey can be. Thank you, Mary, for speaking openly and giving strength to others who may be losing hope. So you're helping many people, Mary, who watching this and will be watching the rebroadcast of sharing your story. And P Teach 9957 says, astute, very true. It is a day by day walk. So thank you again. Okay, Tabitha, back to you.
Thank you so much, Steve. So I was saying that, are you a friend there of a kidney warrior? They need you, even though sometimes you might come and find like maybe they don't want to speak to you today. Tomorrow when you come, they would like to speak to you. They need you. They need your support. They need your presence. Even if they will not show up for the meeting, sometimes you may need to do a Zoom while you are already having the other friends, and you speak to that warrior, and they feel so good and they feel like they are accepted in that group. So let's keep supporting them. Let me ask you, Mary, what is the role of the kidney community, or what does the kidney community mean to you? The warriors, the other warriors.
Well, what other warriors mean to me, it means everything, because these are people that have walked my journey, despite having family, having the medics, the doctors, the nurses, and all that. We are the ones that have worn the shoes, and we are the ones that know how the shoes can press, how comfortable and uncomfortable it is. These are people that will never judge you no matter what, because they are going through the same issues you go every other day. So they are good people, and also feel comfortable talking to them, catching up, and also it gives you hope knowing that you're not alone. There are people you can walk with the journey. There's somebody you can call no matter what time it is, and they will never judge you. Yeah. So they have made the
Wow,
journey easier.
yeah, thank you so much. Are you aware of the support groups?
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And is there any benefit for being in that support group?
Well, yes, there are some benefits, because if you have a problem and you raise it on the group, many people get to respond, and also to channel you towards the right direction and on where you can get help.
So you can recommend other warriors to join support group wherever they are.
Yes, I would. They should be in one or two of the support groups. Those are the people that will never judge you. Those are the people that will come through for you very fast. Even what your family cannot understand, you can bring even somebody in your family on board, and they also get to learn that you are not the only one, because sometimes even families can feel overburdened, and they feel like it's their kin going through the most. But when you join such support group, you get to understand there are so many people going through it, and you can talk and support each other on those platforms.
Wow, that is very nice. Therefore, if you are a kidney warrior somewhere there, it's good for you to join a support group. It doesn't matter wherever you are in the world. Wherever you are, pick a support group, join. It is very, very important. In Kenya, we have Renal Patient Society of Kenya. I think I saw over 1,000 patients there. You can you can join. We also have our president, who is called Mr. Gikonyo, who is the president of Renal Patient Society of Kenya. And depending on wherever you are, there must be somebody who is leading the group, which is very, very important, because those support groups, as Wanjiku is saying, she has learned a lot. They have supported, and it is one of the patients who actually helped Wanjiku adjust to the life on dialysis, and who actually told Wanjiku, kindly do not follow other people. Remember, you are a patient, take your doctor's order, follow dialysis as it should. Therefore, it is very, very important. Wanjiku, tell me, is there a particular person or moment of support that stands out for you? Any particular person?
Pardon?
Is there a particular person or moment of support that really stands out for you in this journey?
Yeah, there are so many people. I can't pinpoint one, but I can
Mm-hmm.
say, yeah, I have a good support system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. That
But
is
there's
that.
one person who is the late Stanley Githongori. He showed for me in a very big way. May his soul rest in peace.
Wow. You can tell us maybe what did he do?
So that was back in the year 2010, when I was still struggling to find out how to go about the transplant. That was financial wise. We had held so many fundraising, but nothing was forthcoming. Then by my then parish priest introduced me to him, and unknown to him, he was also going through dialysis, but I didn't know. I got to learn later. So he came for me. He paid for me my transplant. Then I remember we did a Thanksgiving mass, and he came, and I had invited my fellow patients. So after the event, he called me and said he would like to support those people who were there. And Tabitha, you remember, I came to KNH and I just told whoever wants to do a transplant, write your name. Those who did, and many people benefited. He paid for so many guys for their transplant. And yeah, and at no point he met any of them. So that guy was God sent, and he rested some few years ago. May his soul rest in peace. That one, I don't know. But I also thank my friends. I have a very big support system. My friends have shown up for me, like in a big way, because when I reach out to them for support, they're always there for me. And I can't pinpoint like this one. There are many. It's a huge family that supports me, and I'm grateful for that. And also, even not only at friends, I also have people, well wishers, people that I don't know. Someone comes along my story, and they support me in a big way.
Wow.
Also, the medics. I also want to mention. Sorry, I've forgotten the doctors. I talk to my doctors a lot, and I explain, and they're there encouraging me, telling me, no, there's hope. Even when I'm looking forward towards, even if it's at that transplant, they encourage me. So I also appreciate the medics a lot, doctors, nurses, and everybody. Yeah.
Wow, that is so, it's so beautiful. I remember the whatever our warrior did, may he actually rest in peace. He really assisted so many of our patients who are financially in need. And many times, even when I'm doing counseling, some patients usually come and they don't have finances. And I'm like, you get a donor, start the preparation, an opportunity can present itself for someone willing to donate finances for transplant, and you can benefit. You can imagine how many people who benefited, who already maybe they had a donor and financially they were challenged. May our warrior rest in peace, Mr. Githongori. Thank you so much, Wanjiku. And how important has emotional support been in your treatment journey? Emotional support.
The emotional part is very much needed for your well-being, because you can have everything, but when you don't have, you see, that love, that one is very important. You need people surrounding you. And what I can tell people, and this mostly will go to the caregivers and all that, sometimes they might feel burdened. It is not easy, because when I'm sick, the caregiver is more sicker than I, because they get to experience firsthand what people are going through. So I know emotionally, sometimes we can be quite something, but we really need that support, and we appreciate it a lot. It helps a patient even in recovery and in their day-to-day life.
Yeah. Thank you so much, even for highlighting about the caregiver. And we are saying that if you are a caregiver of a kidney patient, remember, even you need a lot of support emotionally. And whenever you feel drained, you can either speak to a counselor, you can look for a way to do self-care. Don't just take a patient for dialysis and then you don't take your breakfast, you don't take your lunch. It is very, very important. As a caregiver, remember, you also need to continue with your work. Therefore, if a patient needs 24-hour presence, look for a way to adjust around that so that you also don't lose your work. You may consider maybe even employing another caregiver, and you can supply maybe the finances to support your patient. Therefore, we are saying, as a caregiver, kindly do not burn out. You need to be present for your patient if your patient has to do very well, and wholly you need to be okay and well. And just maybe to ask you, Wanjiku, what message do you have for a patient who is either on dialysis or maybe even on transplant? What message would you like to pass?
What I would say, I'll start for people on dialysis. Don't lose hope. There is hope for tomorrow. As long as you wake up and you're breathing, God is not yet done with you. And also, if you're on dialysis and maybe you have a donor, please go for that transplant. You can never compare life on dialysis with life on transplant. Also, if you don't have a donor in the family, I know the laws do not allow non-related transplants. If you have the finances, you can always look for other ways. There are countries doing it. Even as we wait and push for the non-related donors here in Kenya, because that's something you people need to work on. Yeah, don't give up. There is hope for tomorrow. Just do what the doctors are advising you to do. Yeah, and you'll be well. For those on transplant, get that graft like your life depends on it. Literally, your life depends on that graft. So guard it. Take your meds as required. Unless it happens, even if it ever happens, you lose the graft, you will say that you did everything possible to protect it. Personally, I never feel any guilt because I know I did everything under the sun to protect it, but life has a way of showing itself sometimes in not so good ways. But protect your kidneys, even also for people that are healthy, please protect your kidneys. I would also encourage people out there to go for medical checkups, especially here in Africa. We fear a lot going to the hospitals, but it can save you a big deal because maybe you're in stage 1, it can be detected early, and you're going to save yourself from getting into those machines. It is not one of the best. Actually, it's one of the hardest things. Getting to depend on dialysis machine. It's not easy, but we keep fighting. Everyone to take care of their kidneys. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wanjiku. You know, sometimes people say that I don't want to look for mistake in my body, just like when you take your vehicle to the mechanic, a mechanic will always find fault. All we can say, or the message you are trying to pass across is, if you, because many people have one form of kidney disease or the other, and we are told that 1 in every 10 human being, they have a chronic, a form of kidney disease. Therefore, we say it is very important to slow the progress to end stage. In end stage, this is where you have to do dialysis. And when you realize you have a kidney issue, you can slow down the progress to end stage by making sure you've been tested. If you need to be put on medication, you've been put on medication. If you need to adjust your lifestyle, your diet, you can do it and slow the progress. There are people who have hypertension, but it is being treated. If it is not treated on time, you can even start dialysis even within 2 years. Therefore, we are saying it is very, very important for us to go for those regular checkups. It means a lot. It can make a difference between you starting on dialysis very early and slowing the progress. Wanjiku, what would you like the listeners of the Kidney Hub East Africa to remember from your story?
Well, what I can say is that they can pick that there is hope for tomorrow. And also, if you get to meet somebody who is sick, not necessarily sick, they could be their caregivers, their family members. What I can say is be kind to one another. You might not know the battles that people are fighting. Someone could look okay outward, but they are not okay. So just be kind to somebody. That's all. It costs nothing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Wanjiku, for sharing your story. People need to be kind. People need to listen. People need to support our kidney patient. We are really glad to have had you on our show. And right now, I would like to take back to Brother Steve so that he can do a conclusion. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Unmute.
Tab. I appreciate that. Those were some great questions and answers. As we come to the end of today's episode of Kidney Hub East Africa, we want to sincerely thank our guest, Mary Wanjiku, for sharing her powerful and inspiring journey with us. Mary, your story of strength, resilience, and hope has truly touched us, and we are grateful for your openness and courage. We also appreciate our co-host, the kidney ambassador. He came through again, and renal nurse specialist Tabitha Matikwa for their valuable insights and compassionate guidance through this conversation. To our listeners, thank you for staying with us and for being part of this important conversation about kidney health, dialysis, and transplant journeys. We hope today's discussion has encouraged, informed, and inspired you. Remember, early diagnosis, consistent treatment, and a strong support system can make a difference in the journey with kidney disease. Until next time, this has been Kidney Hub East Africa, where awareness meets hope. Take care and stay informed and keep supporting the kidney community. I'm your host, Steve, the Kidney Nurse. I want to thank my guests again for coming on. We see everyone next week. Take care, Brother Moses, Sister Tabitha, Miss Mary. Thank you. And we see everyone soon. Thank you for joining.
Hello, I'm Darren. We have breaking news. More than 600,000 Americans have kidney failure. While the number of people with kidney failure is enormous, the number of people with its precursor, chronic kidney disease, is staggering. An estimated 31 million Americans, or about 10% of the US population. Diabetes and hypertension cause 2/3 of all cases of kidney disease. 1 out of every 3 Americans is at risk for kidney disease, and kidney disease is now among the top 10 causes of death in the United States. In addition, 9 out of 10 people with early to moderate kidney disease don't know they have it, putting their health in jeopardy. Are you at risk? For more information, contact urbankidneyalliance.org. The life you save may be yours.